BBM4 is almost here. There are no more tournaments for us to draft until that day comes, but fear not, because today we are spinning up a couple of private drafts, couple of mock drafts. We're going to battle versus you guys, the value hounds, the piss boys, those of you responsible for the wide receiver avalanches. It's our final chance to draft a few teams here on Best Ball Breakfast before we enter hot best ball summer. Let's do it.
Oh, another Influencer 101 for the backward hats, bro. Rigged!
Zach Ertz with no Tyler Algier bringback? Yikes.
You reached around for correlation? That's a no-no. You ADP bros disgust me. How about you just live a little? Handcuffing might actually be a way to get unique if the field's avoiding it.
The Wi-Fi at this resort is a disaster?
These fucking streamers don't have player takes. What if a piss boy draft is the room you need?
Oh!
All right, GMs. Good morning, GMs. Look at you guys. You would never know that there's no tournament for us to draft. Just the enthusiasm is at an all-time high. I am very excited here. Are we slow drafting? No, we're not slow drafting. Although I'm not going to flesh it out now, but I have a very fun idea involving slow drafts that I am going to spin up here soon. I even told Underdog about my idea. I think it will be very fun. So it will be something for Slow Draft Nation here. GMs. Oh, we got Kevin live in the chat. I see we have a couple new members this morning. Welcome. As you can see, I recently made the new Best Ball Breakfast channel within the Deposit Kingdom Discord. And for today, and also I think throughout the season, I'm going to be starting to use that channel to either tip off when I am going to be hopping in a draft. So those of you who are YouTube members have a better chance of getting in with me. And then today, because the only contests we can draft for NFL are private self-contained leagues, I am going to drop those links in there. So I will give you guys a couple of seconds who are new members. If you're in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, all you need to do is sync your YouTube account in your Discord account. There are instructions on how to do that in the FAQ section at the top. It's fairly easy. Then that channel will unlock. If you have any questions, feel free to tag me in Discord. Always down to help you out. But you do now have access to that Best Ball Breakfast channel where I will be dropping this private link in a second. But I need to catch up on the chat. I need to pour some coffee. I literally, I was doing stuff early this morning. We were wrapping up the Fantasy Life newsletter, wrapping up a couple of videos, and I went to pour my coffee literally 6 minutes ago and realized I was out. So I sprint up the stairs to make another batch of coffee just for you guys. I've made this well known. I'm already well caffeinated. April was up at 6 a.m. this morning. You know, we've already been pounding coffee to get through this early part of the morning. But do you know what I do for you guys? I pour more, and that's what we're going to do. So here you go. Let's get our first of what will probably be a couple coffee pours this morning. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. And now I am going to create this private draft. It looks like for 12-person leagues, we have two options. One is a $5 draft. One is a $3 draft. We're making you guys pony up for the $5 draft this morning. Create private draft. Here we go. I am posting this link in Best Ball Breakfast channel. I am tagging you value hounds. There you go. That has been posted. Dobby wants me to spill the BBM4 details. I just know some loose details. I know some broad strokes, but I can't spill anything. I can't, I can't give away everything I know. These are the things I feel comfortable saying. One, I feel pretty confident that we're going to get BBM4 shortly after the conclusion of the NFL draft. I also feel like Underdog is actually going to fill us all in on their plans at some time this week. So we can all relax. We know BBM4 is coming. It's going to be glorious. I've gotten a little sneak peek at some of the settings and stuff, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about it. I think it is a very elegant structure to the tournament. I think there's some new quirks that we're going to have to think through, but a lot of the previous research and the stuff we've been talking about with regards to, solving Best Ball Mania 3, what are the most optimal pathways we can take to building lineups? I think most of that stuff is still in play here. So I can't wait. I can't wait. GM Ori, GM, what is up? Andrew. Let's see. J Mike says, no tourney, but the overzealots, trademark pending, are here, baby. That's right. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that name, the overzealots. It sounds like a religious group, like vaguely in the Crusaders territory, where it's like they did a bunch of awful things for what they thought was a good cause. But I'll think about it. I'll think about that, J Mike. Let's see here. GM from Chris G. I'm glad you mentioned this. I am glad you mentioned this, GA. The Mulch King has returned. Yes, I finished my mulch. Some of you guys, if you read my newsletter on Friday, I broke down the mulch saga. You know, if you ever wanted, I don't know what it's like, about 1,500 words about mulch, I write that newsletter for you. It is the newsletter for mulch enthusiasts around the world, but I conquered it. All of the mulch is spread. And I will tell you what was so satisfying is I finished doing all the mulch. I think it was like late Friday or early afternoon or late afternoon, early evening on Friday. And then we got pummeled with rain here in New England. And nothing is better than seeing your freshly spread mulch, your freshly spread natural pine bark after just a pouring of rain. It's nice and dark and thick and well spread out. And I'm just surveying my backyard, feeling very self-satisfied. Honestly, I highly recommend it. Roll up your sleeves, touch some dirt every now and again. That is how it's done. All right. Are you guys in the Discord? We need a few more people to fill this one out. I know there's a ton of you guys who are YouTube members in here. If you guys want to come draft, do it. Otherwise, I will open it up to the masses here. Matt was my fellow mulch king. He was posting some pictures in the Discord here. Turns out spreading 56 bags of mulch is a decent workout. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you get some deadlifting elements there with the bag specifically. I mentioned in the newsletter that I didn't go with the chalky wheelbarrow setup. I went with an empty trash can and a dolly because I was able to fill so much more mulch into the trash can. Then I dollied it around to the various parts, dumped it, and then just repeated that cycle ad nauseum for what seemed like my entire life. Look at it. Is Mulch Nation just growing in front of my very eyes? Fantasy Football Garage says I caught my neighbor mulching and told him the weed barrier joke, and it killed. There you go. This is what we do around here. We help you facilitate conversations with your neighbors. Nick says a pee break will be coming from all of this. Probably. Let's see. KZ has a boomer question. How can I become a member of multiple channels? I can't give up my randomizer royalty. Yeah, so basically the way the tiers work is there's various tiers. So the randomizer, that tier was specifically for the randomizer show. You can upgrade, and anything above it, you get access to all of it. So if you're a club VIP, you get those two. If you're a Best Ball Value Hounds, you get club VIP and randomizer. So it's all nested. So those of you guys who are from the DFS YouTube sub that are the hand builders and Opto Bros, you get all of these. All of those are available and unlocked for you on there. It looks like not enough of you guys want to slow draft here, or not slow draft, fast draft. I'll post the link in the chat for right now. Here, let me see. I'm going to post this here so you guys can get in. There are instructions in the Discord, syncing Discord to you. Go to the, I'll show you right here in the FAQ. Let me show the screen here just so you guys can see this. And this draft is about to fill. When you're in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, if you click on Kingdom FAQ, and then you go here, right here are the instructions. Go to the gears button, click connections, and then select YouTube button. After that, you should be all set. And then you will see the unlocked or the locked channels here. So here's the Best Ball Breakfast. Here's our hand builders. Here's our club VIPs. It's all there for you once you get that unlocked. Looks like we are filled now. I'm also very excited to, I got myself some new overlays here. You guys are going to watch me get set up here in real time. Let's see here. Look at this. Look at this. All right. Make sure we're looking good here on this front. All right, here we go. All right, I think we're almost good to go here on the draft front. Okay. All right. We should be good here. We got some fresh digs around here. Had to spruce up the place with hot best ball summer coming. I should mention too, it's a funny quirk with the underdog system. And we discovered this on Splash Play the other day, that whatever is the most existing tournament or most recent tournament, those settings port over to even the private drafts. So we are in fact doing a Superflex draft, and it should come as no surprise to anyone that I did draw the 111 and yet another Superflex draft. At this point, I don't even think we can say it's a bug in the underdog system. I think it's actually a feature that Peter is not allowed to draft in any early slots in Superflex contests. It's unreal, Phil. It really is absolutely unreal. Miles, you're 110. Oh no. West Doggy 110 here. Look at you sickos, just back on your bullshit with these early quarterbacks. Let's see what you do. Snipe me. Snipe me. I dare you, Miles. I'm taking Chase or McCaffrey, so you can't really snipe me. And then we'll see what KZ does here from the 112. Mad Sox, very similar to me. 9 of 10 drafts. Best pick I got was pick 7. I know. It's disgusting. It is truly disgusting. I'm going to start. All right. What do we get back here? So KZ goes Kelsey Hill. Man, I wanted to do Kelsey. Sean Siegel over on RotoViz had written up some super flex strategy, and he had really sold me on Kelsey being an alpha play pick in this specific contest. And, Sean, it was so funny because Sean agreed with me with the basic premise of, in Superflex from the back end of round 1, that you can't just draft watered down versions of what the early teams did with the elite quarterbacks and trying to beat them at the other positions. But he made a really convincing case about why tight end was actually the best position to try to get an advantage on those early quarterback drafters. And it makes sense specifically with Travis Kelce, right? Just because he's the one guy that can reliably, put a 7-8 point weekly cushion in between him and even the tight end too after that. So I thought that was a pretty compelling argument. I've been thinking about it from the running back and wide receiver, but if the Jalen Hurts team is also getting an AJ Brown level talent, a Devontae Adams type talent, then you could maybe say, how much are you separating even with Cooper Kupp? Whereas with Travis Kelce down to the tight end 2, you are getting this built-in advantage. So I do wish I would have mixed in a little bit more Travis Kelce as part of my, how do I cope with these late round draft slots? Bindles says, I'm looking very Colorado today. Appreciate that, Bindles. I almost changed over my closet. I have all my tank tops and bins, and I have all my hoodies out, and I was all right, it's about time. And then it got all rainy and cold around here again. I woke up cold and I needed to throw on my sweater again. But I am very much looking forward to tank top season, which should be here relatively soon. Dobby says you can't have all the 101s and the BBM4 structure data advantage. I guess it's true. I promise there's no advantage. There's no advantage. Silas says this is the least amount of badges I have seen in years. Interesting. Yeah, but we got some friends and family here. We got Kevin. We just had West Doggy that we talked about. TML, I recognize. Who got the username NFL? That's kind of a badass username right there. That has some big Rob Lowe energy right there. I dig that. I'm happy. I love that for you. Love that for you. One sec. I'm getting myself organized here. Tyler says he's looking forward to the Pete pivot to Purdy this AM from the 11 spot. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what we're going to deal with at quarterback here. Superflex, the combination of Superflex and these late draft slots really broke my brain. I was actually in the middle. So previously I had said that all of my Superflex drafts that I did were all live streamed. I wasn't doing any on my own accord, but I had this moment where I relapsed when everyone said Superflex is filling and we are going to just slow drafts. And I was like, you know what? I need to add one. I need to add one. So I did register for one slow draft, and it's probably my favorite Superflex team I've drafted. I'll pull that one up in a second. Okay, so this is an interesting spot here. Tons of running back options. This feels like a very flat tier to me at quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Tony Pollard, who I think is the best of all of these running backs. Chubb, Henry, Jacobs. I do prefer Pollard. So let's get a CMC Pollard combo, and then we'll see what KZ gives us at quarterback. Yeah, everyone appreciating the NFL name. Rob says he's the Southern Dandy. I like that name. All right, KZ double taps quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, Goff, Wilson, Carr. We can go with Goff. I will not be able to get the Amon-Ra St. Brown, but who says no to a backdoor triple stack of Jared Goff with Marvin Jones, Khalif Raymond, and Josh Reynolds? That sounds fun. No Jameson Williams for the first 6 games of the season. If you guys missed that news breaking late Friday, I wrote about this in the Fantasy Life newsletter this morning as well. Jameson Williams suspended 6 games. Truly a buzzkill, right? Because he only played 6 games last year. He was recovering from that ACL that he suffered in the 2022 college championship game. We saw him flash a little bit, got loose for a touchdown down the stretch. We all had collectively been aggressively drafting him in the 5th and 6th round of the regular big board contest. He fits the profile of everything we want in a second-year breakout. Young, fast, really solid college production numbers in his junior year at Alabama. Everything we want. The breakout was there. The Lions offense getting more and more fun, vacated targets, yada, yada. And now it's put on pause again, which is definitely disappointing. However, I do think he's still in play for best ball. I think you could argue he was being maybe slightly overdrafted where he was going before. And now maybe we get him falling to more reasonable prices. So I think for best ball purposes, it's fine. If you were loaded up on Jameson Williams at a 5th round cost, that definitely sucks. But I think this will reset his market to a much more palatable price in a way that is healthy and good for all of us. Yeah, Jason asking a question that they were, someone mentioned in the Discord too, is the membership upgrade to Value Hound include ship chasing? Unfortunately, it doesn't. I try to do some stuff, but because they're separate channels, YouTube does not allow you to have a universal membership across 2 channels. So ship chasing is its own channel. Peter Overzet YouTube, its own channel. I do try to do some stuff for all of you guys. If you guys are subscribed to either Ship Chasing or my channel, I've been making those Best Ball After Dark videos available to both of you guys. So I've done 4 of those recently now, the most recent one with Denny, which, by the way, we did that one on Friday. Very fun show talking with Denny. We didn't even draft. We literally just talked for, it was like over an hour and a half about life, about decks, about being a father, about our relationship with our phones. So if you want to hear us talk about those things, you can get access to that on either the Ship Chasing or my YouTube. But yes, anything involving the Best Ball Value Hounds and the Hand Builders and Opto Bros DFS stuff, that's on my channel on its own. I apologize. I know it's a little tricky, but I do sincerely appreciate you guys supporting us, supporting me via these memberships, and it allows me to get to do more private content for you guys as well, and have some plans this summer to make sure you guys are getting a good bang for your buck. And I'm going to keep those Best Ball After Dark streams going. Been doing them either Friday or Saturday nights. Been getting a lot of good feedback on those. So appreciate all of that. And I will continue to deliver you YouTube members some exclusive content. Let's see what West Doggy does here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stack up Cooper Kupp with Matthew Stafford, right? I mean, if I'm at this spot of the draft where I need a QB2, I took Cooper Kupp with my second pick and Matthew Stafford's at the top. I feel like this is a fairly logical choice here. The real question is going to be, do I take another quarterback here? This does feel like a quarterback sweet spot, or do I grab like one of my other favorites, a guy like Drake London? I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on any running backs in this range. This feels like a good spot to get my third quarterback. Look at this. Look at this cohort right here. CJ Stroud, Kenny Pickett, Anthony Richardson. What a group. What a group. I just can't help myself. I'm not clicking Lance. Let's rule out Lance. I always take Kenny Pickett. Stroud versus Richardson. I probably should take more Stroud, but come on. We're taking Anthony Richardson. We're doing it. All right, so through 6 rounds for the audio listeners who I will always service: Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Tony Pollard, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Anthony Richardson. Look, this is growth. I just took quarterbacks with 3 straight picks. That's growth. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you guys, you need to, if you guys are YouTube members, you need to watch the stream with Denny. We did pull up the photo of his deck, and Denny described in great detail how massive the deck is. And I thought from seeing the photo of his deck, I already thought it was big. I was like, that's a big deck. Then he revealed that we were only seeing a sliver of his big deck. It extends far beyond what we could even see from that photo. I mean, this man has the biggest deck on the Eastern Seaboard. And frankly, I've been asking him for, I guess you could say I've been soliciting deck picks from Denny. I don't know if there's any other way to put it. Thank you, Hope, from a fellow best ball streamer and someone with strong aesthetic tastes. Hope saying she likes the background. I appreciate that. Welcome, Jason. Thanks for becoming a YouTube member. Tyler was a big fan of the Denny stream there. Need the live stream cribs. There you go. I'm working on a couple projects at my house that maybe I can share with you guys once they get closer to completion. I'm trying to build out like a home gym right now. Basically, I'm trying to cut out having to drive to the gym, because it's basically, it eats up a full hour extra of my day. Because I'm essentially like 25 minutes from my gym. So that ends up being about an hour round trip. And so I said, you know what, forget this. I'm going to try to bring everything that I love about the gym to my home. So I'm trying to build a gym in my garage. I mentioned this on another stream, I think with Davis, but I got the sauna coming, because that's my one motivator of going to the gym, is like, at least I can go to the sauna. And so I said, screw it. I'm going to try to bring the gym to my house. So once I get some updates on that, maybe I can do a Denny-esque update and show you guys my gym sauna setup that I've been working on now for a while. But I promise you, it will not rival the size and the breadth of Denny's deck. It's going to be a modest home gym, but I will share it with you guys once it's complete. I could show you my deck, but I feel like I have deck envy. You know, if I show you guys a photo of my deck, you're going to be like, that's like 1/8 the size of Denny's. Why are you even showing us? Why are you even bothering? So I think I'm a little in my head about sharing my deck with you guys. UX, who apparently has an intimate knowledge of my proximity and the gyms that are around me. Believe it or not, buddy, I actually did look into if there were gyms closer to me, and there are not. But I appreciate that really galaxy brain helpful tip that I had potentially not considered. Honest question: if Pete does the crib stream, will there be a Mans appearance cranking out mad reps? Yeah, Mans hasn't been seen in a while. Who knows where he is? Who knows where Mans is? All right, what do I need to do? Detroit. All right. This is sick, right? Because I want my Jared Goff stack with Jameson Williams, but his price hasn't adjusted. We can't be taking Jameson Williams over Tyler Lockett and Chris Godwin and Brandon Ayuk. That's disgusting. Let's just take Tyler Lockett here to start. Oh, I just realized I sniped Casey. Casey, I promise that wasn't personal. I almost took Godwin. I was debating between Lockett, Godwin, and Ayuk. I just want you to know, truce, ceasefire. We're still good. It wasn't personal. It wasn't an attack. I just want you to know it was accidental. I randomized it in my head, and Tyler Lockett was the pick. How do you get one of these sweaters? You go to Faraday.com, use promo code Pete. All right, let's do Ayuk. Or you know what? How about this? I like DeAndre Swift in this same range of all these running backs. I'm probably prefer Dameon Pierce maybe just a smidge, but I do like DeAndre Swift a lot. I have Jared Goff. I don't want to take Jameson Williams at these prices. Let's go with DeAndre Swift. This is like an old school hyper fragile build that I used to love back in the day. Look at this. Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift. That feels like a hyper fragile build from last year. That's pretty. That's pretty. Sorry, Casey. Again, I apologize. Ross wants to play a lot of things. How many snipes are intentional versus accidental? Yeah, that's a very good question. I think in general, you know how it is in life too, where we all tend to think that other people are thinking about us far more than they actually are. You know, we're like, oh man, that person's going to think I'm being unreasonable, or that person thinks I'm being weird. And it's like, they're probably not actually thinking about you. My guess is it's similar with snipes. A lot of the time, people are just doing their own thing. Occasionally, you will get these rogue actors. I know some of you, perhaps even watching this stream, you go on rabid tilt during a draft and you look at your opponent and you say, I am going to make your life miserable because my life is miserable. That certainly happens. There are spiteful drafters out there, but on the whole, I think they're mostly incidental. I would say, if I had to guess, I would say 80% of all perceived snipes are accidental. Let's put this to a vote. Let's put this to a vote. I want to get this out there. Let me get this pulled up in the chat, and we'll put this to a vote. We're going to do a poll. It says, YouTube, engage with your audience. Start a poll. How many snipes are intentional versus accidental? Oh God, this isn't, no, this is, I would have to do, okay, I'll have to do it like this. 80+%. God, this is going to be such an unscientific poll. I just realized I can't type out options for everyone. This is what you're going to have to deal with. All right, the poll is out. It's not my finest poll. I'll admit it. It's the options are 80+%, 50+%, 25+%, 10+%. All right. I'm a best ball streamer, not a poll artist. Poll artist. That sounds like something. Never mind. Okay. Tyler says this is a great running back room, but I'm a little worried about your geriatric wide receiver room. I'm a little worried about it too, man. I'm a little worried about it. What picks do I have available? I now am on the clock. I kind of, I wonder if I made a mistake not going. Why? Oh my goodness, West Dog, you had to take Jameson Williams there? Was that accidental or was that intentional? That's what I want to know. I'm going to grab Jahan Dotson and then probably grab another running back just because this seems like a sweet spot. Pacheco, Rashad White, Algier, and Charbonnet. I am worried about Algier. I have not been selecting him. Spags keeps going like full steam ahead on Algier on Splash Play. And I'm like, dude, Arthur Smith is just salivating to draft a rookie running back in one of the first couple of rounds. I'm going to take Zach Chardonnay. For the audio listeners, through 10 rounds, I honestly don't hate this build for a late draft slot Superflex team. Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Anthony Richardson at quarterback. I can go to battle with that room. Two boring statue quarterbacks and the most athletic quarterback of all time. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, and Zach Charbonnet. Love it. Great running backs. Love your running backs. Wide receivers, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett, Jahan Dotson. We can survive. And no tight ends. Look at that. I was able to avoid my Kyle Pitts bullshit, my Trey Lance bullshit. That's growth. That's growth. Let's see what the poll results are so far. Okay, probably because of how poorly I constructed this poll, but the votes are all over the map. The leading vote is between 25 to 50%. That's probably right. It's probably around like 30% of Snipes. I still think it's a little lower than that. Yeah, 26% of you saying 10+%. I'm calibrating right now. I think it's like 15%. 15% of all Snipes are intentional. That's what I'm sticking with. All right. Thank you for clarifying, Miles. Even if it is accidental, I meant to snipe thee. I like how you're talking in, Victorian language. I apologize, Peter. Peter doth protest much, but I meant to snipe thee on this gorgeous morning. Nick, stop it right now. I mean, you guys want me to draft. You guys want me to make polls. I'm trying to do a lot right now, okay? I'm sorry that I didn't engineer the perfect poll while drafting. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. Poll artist and thought leader. 100% intentional. How do I even answer this poll? Look, I'm over this poll. I'm deleting it. I'm deleting it right now. End the poll. The poll has been ended. This is what I get. This is what I get for engaging my community, for engaging my audience. I get a bunch of wise asses in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Denny has a big deck, and I have a perfect poll. Be sure to tip your servers tonight, folks. Relax. Love Stars, will BBM4 have 20 rounds? I do not think so. I believe Underdog has said previously that the 20-round drafts are specifically a byproduct of pre-NFL draft when we don't have a ton of information. Man, this is the gross tier here. When Quentin Johnston and P. Ryan and Damian Harris, now we're really just in the absolute gross parts of this. Ugh, I hate this. I do really hate this. And I just take fucking Jacoby Myers, I guess. Ugh. I really, really hate this tier here. I don't like these running backs. Like, I'll take these guys, Brian Robinson, AJ Dillon, Jamal Williams, the, plug your nose and pray for touchdown group. Lord knows I'm not clicking on Sky Moore. All right, I don't know why. I just haven't been able to get jazzed about Elijah Moore in Cleveland. You guys know how I feel about Odell Beckham at these prices. Literally undraftable at these prices. KJ Osborne, whatever. What if he's the guy you need? What if? But man, this is a gross. I probably should have taken Tyler Boyd. I think I prefer Tyler Boyd to both Myers and Osborne, honestly. Maybe not to Myers. Maybe that's unfair to Myers. But Tyler Boyd, I feel like at least Tyler Boyd gives you an out to upside, right? I mean, guys like Jacoby Myers and KJ Osborne, even if Justin Jefferson or Devontae Adams got hurt, I really don't know if there's like these mega upside scenarios. Just with how those offenses run, they'd probably become more run conservative. KJ Osborne isn't going to be a high target earner regardless. Whereas if T. Higgins or Jamar Chase gets hurt and Tyler Boyd, steps into the wide receiver 2 role, I have a feeling he would be getting a 20+% target share in those scenarios. They still use him a little bit in the red zone. It's an offense that's going to score a ton. Tyler Boyd's probably the better pick there. because you're getting some floor. We know he's going to be an all wide receiver, 3 sets, can still have good games. And then there's pretty big contingent upside. So this is my way of saying, why the fuck did I just select 2 wide receivers over a wide receiver I like more? Really good question. Really good question, Peter. Glad you had that clarity after not selecting the guy you liked the most. There you go. And in the process, I had an accidental snipe. Let the record show it was an accidental snipe. Silas says, if the Vikings don't draft another wide receiver, we have already seen the upside of KJ and he's going to be on the field 90% of the time. Yeah, and I mean, what I was getting excited about with KJ Osborne down the stretch, and I do have that game against the Colts in the Dome where he went off in my head, but I mean, he does have 30-plus point upside with how he's used deep down the field. And that spike week ability is definitely attractive to me. He never feels like the funnest click when you don't have Kirk Cousins. He feels like a guy I would rather correlate with Cousins, but I think he can definitely help out a weak wide receiver room. Oh, now we're doing the Bill Barnwell idea. I'm sure you guys saw I made a short clip of it. I posted on Twitter and on the Ship Chasing YouTube. But if you guys missed our show with Bill Barnwell last week, super, super fun show. Bill Barnwell, obviously really sharp analyst over at ESPN. And he had just come out with an annual column he does looking at trades for every single pick in the NFL draft. So it's basically a thought exercise of, if these picks got moved, each pick, what would that trade potentially look like? He did, of course, float a Minnesota Vikings and Trey Lance trade, and then pitched Gretch and I on this idea of the Vikings stumbling out of the gate saying, hey, we just traded for Trey Lance. Let's fire up Trey Lance as our quarterback. Basically, what he made the case for was a low advance rate Trey Lance as the playoff hammer and the guy you need for BBM4. And boy, did I get hot under the collar after that pitch by Bill Barnwell. I mean, my God. And then he also told us Kyle Pitts was undervalued. I mean, I don't know if he believed those things, if he was just pandering to the host, but boy, did it work. Boy, did it work. Man, I also was kind of asleep at the wheel at tight end here. I mean, these are just some of the grossest wide receivers. I guess we passed on. Ugh. I can't take DPJ over Jess Wilson. I'm taking another running back. Let's play some rock. I'm taking running backs. It is what it is. Where is it? Where's my rock? Wilson. Take my first tight end. Boring selection, but Tyler Higbee stacked with Matthew Stafford. All right. No, too early for rock music. I do hate Cleveland. Get out of here with this bucket 2 stuff. Leone hasn't released a Superflex manifesto yet that accounts for the setting shift in favor of running backs. Yeah, Phil, the things I do for my community. Bill famously has blocked a lot of people on Twitter. Phil mentioned in the Ship Chasing Discord that he was blocked. I just want you to know. I mean, I don't mean to pat myself on the back too much here, but I sent a DM to Bill Barnwell that said, "Can you unblock Phil B?" on Twitter, and he did it. The things I do for this community. Congratulations. You can now read Bill Barnwell's tweets without being in incognito mode. Yes, Jason says, now that the boomers like me figured out the membership tiers, we doing a second member-only draft? No, we are indeed going to do a second member-only draft. When this one is done, I will drop the link in there as well. Glad that you were able to find the Best Ball Breakfast channel. I'll be dropping it in there. Trust me, I know. Tyler says, Jeff Wilson and Tyler Higbee is a sad fucking bang selection. I know. I know. But I'm a broken man, okay? I'm a broken man. What's up, Lunchable? I swear, if Phil starts trolling Bill Barnwell again, and this one is on me after getting him unblocked, do not hang me out to dry like that. It's like when you know how if you ever borrow someone else's season tickets, and if you got like belligerent and made a scene, the people whose tickets the name is in are responsible, right? Because that's all they have to go off of. Those are in this analogy, I let Phil go to the game in my season tickets. And if you get belligerent and get thrown out and they revoke my tickets because of your behavior, we're going to have a beef, Phil. TopStat says, any thoughts on potential overcorrection of receiver value and if it could be the year to be a running back piggy? You know, I think it's TBD, right? I thought there were a ton of good running back values in the early big board. Like when you looked at that third round with the Tony Pollards, the Josh Jacobs, the Nick Chubbs, when you looked at that 7th and 8th round with the DeAndre Swifts, the Pachecos, the Cam Akers, the Javonte Williams, the Joe Mixons, guys that all have question marks, but we know there's upside there. I thought there were lots of interesting pockets of the draft to be a running back piggy. I also think, though, that the NFL draft could really shake some stuff up from that perspective. Really don't like these tight ends. We're going to have to kick that can down the road. This feels like a couple wide receiver picks. Lord knows I'm not taking Adam Thielen at pick 160. Let's just do Rondale Moore. Nothing like the comforting selection of Rondale Moore. There you go, Katie. Katie says, I was subscribed to ask about the sweater, staying for the polls. Yes, if you guys are here lurking, not subscribed to the channel, what is wrong with you? Subscribe to the channel. Do I need a goal? Do I need to set a goal like on the Swolecast? We have the road to 5K. Should I take Tim Patrick or Michael Gallup? I think Michael Gallup's maybe a little undervalued right now. Let's take Michael Gallup. I think I need the road to 15K. I need the road to 15K. Katie, thank you for helping me on the road to 15K. I'm a couple hundred subs off of 13K. Let's get to 15K by the end of this summer. I think we can do it. We're going to be streaming best ball all summer long. We're going to have the randomizer draft coming back. Let's do it. Enough already of this 12.7K bullshit. I'm ready for 15K. I know there's 2,500 of you out there lurking. Haven't hit the subscribe button. Just get me to 15K so I can live with myself. Beachhead said he won't be sad to see Superflex go. I get that. I would have preferred to do just a standard scoring setting, roster setting draft, but something with the back end underdog system where they only have it populated for the current drafts that are out there for the private draft. So this will be the last whimper, the last cry from Superflex. Bindle says, where will the link be posted? In the Best Ball Breakfast channel. I see J Mike Check is in there. He says, cheers to all of us who figured out the whole membership upgrade thing today. Yes, the link will be in there. Nick says, I'm taking either Akers or Kyren in most drafts. I really like the Kyren thought specifically. I mean, I don't mind the Akers thought at all. I agree he's part of that tier, but I mean, Kyren Williams is free. So yeah, I like that. I actually had an epiphany the other day, Nick, where I was late in a draft and I took Kyren Williams and I was like, man, I haven't been selecting him enough. You know, as usual, I get funneled into my same late round selection. It's like, all right, I'm going to take Pierre Strong. I'm going to take Dwayne McBride. I'm going to take fucking Ronald Jones. I even do some of my other Galaxy Brain ones that I like to do. I was doing some Jordan Mason for San Francisco. Still feel like with whatever kind of shenanigans we get with the San Francisco backfield, that there's always kind of a sliver of hope for him. And also a little Trey Sermon. It's gross, but there is a chance, depending on what shakes out with Rashad Penny, that Trey Sermon is getting some touches in that offense. So all that to say, though, I definitely wish I would have mixed in a little bit more Kyren Williams. Free the knit for 15K. Sure. There you go. I'll show my nipple if I get to 15K subs. Denny will show his big deck and I will show my nipple. All right. What do we want here? Should I snipe KZ again and take Noah Fant? That would be so cruel. That would be so cruel. I'll take Isaiah Likely just to not be cruel. There you go, KZ. I saved Noah Fant for you. I like this call from Silas. He says he does the same with the Arizona guys. Now, look, do I select? Do I ever select James Conner? No, but I do like Keontae Ingram with that same thought process. Let's see here. Do we want another running back? Do we have any other stack stuff I should consider? Okay, yeah, let's do Van Jefferson. We'll triple stack Matthew Stafford. I mean, if Matthew Stafford is having a career resurgence, he's going to be dropping bombs to Van Jefferson in the process. Bindle says, I have Deposit Kingdom, but not Best Ball Breakfast Discord. Let me tag you in here. You know what? Sometimes I need to push through a manual sync. 1 second here. Let me push through a YouTube sync on the back end, and then I can see if this fixes itself. Bindles, at the very worst, if we can't get this figured out, I will DM you the link for the draft. I'm not sure why. What is your username? Is it just Bindles on Discord? So it doesn't look, Bindles, like you have synced your Discord yet, because I don't see your YouTube membership. So have you gone through and synced the membership? You have to go into your settings. The instructions are there in the FAQ. I'll post them here. I'll post them in the YouTube chat for you as well, Bindles. Or actually, I'll tag you in the Discord with it. Here you go, Bindles. Follow these instructions. I tagged you. Dietrich says, I tuned in for the first time, or just in time, to hear Pete offering nip picks for subs. I see we've really taken the community in a new direction, waiting for the draft. Yeah, man. Look, I'm not above selling my body for subs, I think is what I'm trying to say here. You know, it's rough out here trying to battle the YouTube algorithm, trying to grow as a content creator, a term that Denny and I discussed how much we hate on Friday's stream. But yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. Maybe I do just spin this fully into an OnlyFans. Top Stat says, do you think Cup will get put on ice again if the Rams are bad? Kind of worries me. Been grabbing Cup. He feels undervalued. I guess that's like a reasonable risk. But I mean, I think he was legitimately, there was no, I don't know. I think unless he's actually really, really hurt and incapable of playing, just knowing Cooper Kupp, I think he's going to be out there. And it does seem like the Rams are making a run at it again in their own way, right? Like they're not a Super Bowl contender, but their division might not be that competitive beyond the Niners. It seems like they might just try to run back what they did a couple years ago. Stafford, Kupp, Higbee, Akers, Van Jefferson. So I don't know. They're not my favorite team and stack to click, but I have no problem clicking Cooper Kupp there where he's going in drafts. I still think he has just that monster upside. Really one of only a couple guys who could eclipse a 30% target share, who you don't worry about any kind of defensive attention because they do such a good job scheming him open. I think if you had zero question marks about Cooper Kupp, he'd probably be the 101, honestly. So you are getting a bit of a discount on him. All right, we have 2 more picks here until we fire up our last draft. I'm at a 3-5-8-2 build here. I definitely want to get to a third tight end here. Should I do Marvin Jones? I feel like I need to get some kind of stack with Jared Goff. What if Marvin Jones is the guy you need weeks 1 through 6? That's the story I'm telling myself. Can I raw dog a 5 running back lineup here? I think I can, right? Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, Zach Charbonnet, Jeff Wilson. And we go with 9 wide receivers and we get to 3 tight ends because I don't feel comfortable with just Higbee and Likely. I'm not clicking Brock Wright. I think Hunter Henry's fine. Here. We already have a little bit of a bet did I take Tyquan Thornton? No, I didn't end up taking Tyquan Thornton. So we'll grab Hunter Henry here. Final team for Superflex: Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Anthony Richardson at quarterback, perfectly serviceable QB room. Running backs: Christian McCaffrey, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, Zach Charbonnet, Jeff Wilson. Really like that running back room. If the Dolphins don't invest any further capital in running back in the draft, we'll definitely be cooking there. Wide receivers, a little weak at the top, but then made up for it with quantity. So we go Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett, Jahan Dotson, Jacoby Myers, KJ Osborne, Rondell Moore, Michael Gallup, Van Jefferson, Marvin Jones. And then tight ends, a gross spray and pray room. Tyler Higbee stacked with Stafford, Isaiah Likely, and Hunter Henry. There is the squad there. I'm glad Ryan is in the chat. I was DMing him questions actually this morning about the garage gym because Ryan does a good job documenting his workouts specifically over on Instagram. And I've always been jealous of his garage gym setup. So he is direct inspiration. He was giving me horse stall mat alpha this morning. Apparently the GTO flooring for your garage gym. He was making sure I wasn't getting taken advantage of by Amazon. Pointed me in the direction of a Tractor Supply store. I mean, the DMs were hot this morning, talking about Tractor Supply and horse stall mats. But yes, I've been getting like lots of feedback from this regularly. I got an email the other night that was like, I like fantasy football, man, but I want to hear more about your mulch and being a dad and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, if you want, I will try to. So yeah, I will say, Ryan, I've never been the kind of guy. I love seeing like gym setups in the same way I like seeing office setups, but I've never been like the kind of guy that's going to document myself while working out. Someone had asked in the chat earlier about my challenge with versus Laird. I mentioned it was last Sunday. I went and tested it, and I did have Gormanji, who met me at the track. He filmed me a bit. So I might end up putting like a little vlog or video together of that 5, 10, 25, which again is you do 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and then a quarter-mile sprint. And you see how many of those you can do in a 30-minute span of that 3, station circuit. So yeah, maybe I will. If the people want to watch me working out, I guess we can do some of that. I just personally, I'm never in like the mindset of like filming myself while I need to work out. But hey, I'm here to give the people what they want. All right, let's fire up this second draft. I'm going to post the link in here. Bindles, were you able to get your Discord synced? Yes, I see you're synced. Congratulations. You are synced now. So I will be dropping this to all of the people who missed out on it. This is, of course, in the Best Ball Breakfast channel, which you can access by becoming a YouTube member. We are going to create a private draft. Share the link to this draft. It is posted for the Value Hounds. Link shared. This is a good question, Dobby. What's a good app to use for workout planning and tracking? I've had a hard time like finding an app and stuff that works for me. I basically do a combination of a few things. I'm a Google Calendar maxi. So I basically use my calendar for everything. I even use it as basically my to-do list. When I have something to do, instead of having a to-do list, I create a calendar invite, and then I set up an email reminder. Like at this point, you need to write the script for Best Ball Tip number 12. And that's kind of the way I stay organized. I do the same thing with my workout stuff where I put my workouts on my calendar. And then, right now I've been doing a lot of push-up and pull-up stuff. And so I've been there's this site, 100pushups.com, that lays out a program if you wanted to get to being able to do 100 push-ups at once. And I have one that I think gets you to 50 pull-ups. And so I've been using that as well. And so then what I do is I go and put those things in my calendar. And so it's not the most elegant solution because it requires some manual work, but it's just what works for me. And then basically on Sundays, I kind of program my workout for the week is what I do and say, okay, on these 3 days, I'm going to be hitting these. Here's the site I was just referencing. So I'll go to like 100, this is 100pushups.com. And I'll be like, all right, so right now I can do between 51 and 60 on a one attempt. And so then my day one, 40, 50, 25, 25, 50 plus. And so then I'll put this on my calendar. I'll like take a screenshot of this and then say, okay, Tuesday, I'm doing my day one push-up thing. So that's kind of how I do it. It's very jerry-rigged, very hacked together, but it's what works for me because I'm such like a completist that if I had a set program and then I'm not able to get to it, like it just makes me upset in my head. So I like having them as like malleable calendar events where I can be like, all right, didn't get to this today. I'm just going to duplicate the event, put it on for Wednesday, yada, yada. That's far too much information about my workout habits, but you asked, so I figured I would share. All right, I'm going to give the Value Hounds one extra second here to sign up in this draft, and then I will post it in the link. Looks like we need a couple more here. Ryan says vlog sounds lit. I'll be tuning in for steroid cycle alpha. This is the thing. I will have protein shakes if I lift, but I don't do anything else. Like I'm not a supplement guy. I'm not a creatine guy. I just raw dog it, man. I don't know. I haven't really felt the need to use any of that kind of extra stuff. The link is in the Discord, guys. I've explained this about 19 times. I will open it up to you guys, but in general, I will be making these available to the YouTube members here. Give you guys one extra second here to pop in, and then I will post it in the chat. Here you go. It's in the chat. Glad that we got Jason in. Here's the thing, Drew. If you can't do one push-up, then you start small. You start with just one. Start on your knees. I should look into creatine. I will definitely look into creatine. Yeah, this is the thing. Dobby says, I always wing it, but it ends up being very repetitive. Yeah, I think because I've gone to, like, I've taken classes at gyms where I'll go and do HIIT workouts, and I've done those for a lot of years. The boxing gym I go to, he does these kind of quasi boxing meets CrossFit meets HIIT type workouts. And so I have kind of like a mental Rolodex of different workouts and things I do. So like yesterday I went to the gym. I'm able to get to the gym like once a week right now when I'm not at home. And I basically hacked together my own circuit with battle ropes, medicine ball, doing medicine ball slams. I did a sled push, and then I did my push-ups and my pull-ups. And I had like 6 different stations. Oh, and then I had like the ab wheel. And so I just set up my own 30-minute circuit, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off for those 6 stations, and then just ran through it. And in general, though, I know what you're saying. Like, it sucks to have to spend time thinking about the workout. And that's why I've always liked going to classes, because it's like, I'd rather show up, have someone think about the program. Holy cow, I got a 102. My last Superflex draft ever, at least for this calendar year, most likely. And I've finally been blessed with the 1-2. I think I said this to Spags. I think I'm Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen. I do not have a single Jalen Hurts share in these drafts. We're back, baby. What was I saying? But yes, it is important, I think, to have a Rolodex of ideas at least, and then you can kind of start to program your own workout. This is the thing too. We need bodybuilding peak content. My goal, like you'll see a lot of, you always hear the terms bulking and cutting season. I'm on, and I don't know, some people would probably, turn their nose up at this. I'm always in kind of just maintain season. I definitely fall more on the cut spectrum. I don't like the feeling personally when I get really jacked, which I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I'm not like trying to become a bodybuilder. I just, I have my like range that I want to be in. And when I'm in that range, I feel really good. And so I basically just optimize my workouts to stay in that range. And then in the spring, I definitely tighten up my diet, scale back on my drinking, so we feel a little bit better about ourselves at the beach in the summer. But other than that, I am mainly in maintain mode. And that's just kind of what works for me. I think there will be points in my life where I have a specific goal. Maybe I want to get back to being able to run a 5K under 20 minutes, something I did in high school that I definitely can't do now. I think I timed myself the other day and I'm at like a 23:30. And that was on like kind of a rolly course. So maybe I could get down to like a 22:30. So I might have a goal like that. And if you're optimizing for being a runner, that's going to be a whole lot different than optimizing to be a bodybuilder. But who knows? Maybe once I get this home gym and I get the squat rack and the bench, maybe I'll start to get some squatting and deadlifting and bench goals again, and maybe I'll swing back in that direction. But in general, I like having more versatility. Like I want to be able to run. I want to be able to do, play sports and have it be functional. So I just find myself more in a maintenance mode than I do like a specific bulking goal. Pete is all about the TB12 non-bulk flexibility methods. Ryan wants me to bulk. I'm not a bulk bro, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm just not a bulk bro. Exactly. Yes, I was forced to a men's only gym, aka my garage, because women kept, interesting spelling there, coming and fainting when he worked out. Yeah, hardly. See, Davis is a bulk bro. Davis and I are like at the polar opposite ends of the spectrum. Like Davis has his supplement stack. He has his very programmed gym workout. He goes and like specifically does like bulking and strength building exercise, lots of deadlifts, lots of squatting. And I'm like the opposite, because to me, I think one thing that's happened to me lately, and this is the whole reason I'm working on the home gym, is like my time has evaporated and I have to be like hyper efficient with my time to get everything done I want. And one thing I've realized too is if I just keep my diet in check and my alcohol consumption in check, I can do less exercise and maintain like the physicality that I want and feel really good. And it's like, I would rather do that and save myself time than like previously I had periods where I would eat junk or drink more or whatever. And then I just go to the gym a ton to basically offset it. And like that works fine. You can maintain that way, but it's like that requires a lot of time. And so now I'm working out much less in much shorter spurts. But because I've like balanced it out on like the nutrition side, I'm able to still be in that same range I want to be in. And so I'm actually just saving time in the process. All right. What is Chris going to do at the turn here? He has Mahomes. I do think there's a little bit of a tier gap from like Daniel Jones to Cousins. And I feel good about all three of these running backs. So I'm going to take Daniel Jones and then select whichever one of these running backs falls. Ori, I got to give a shout out to Ori. A lot of you guys don't see him in the Deposit Kingdom because he's hiding in the NGMI gate. But Ori is on a weight loss journey right now. I believe he has a blog and a YouTube I just recently subscribed to. And Ori is on a path to shedding a bunch of pounds. Ori, I'm rooting for you. I know you can do it. You are going to do it. And I can't wait to follow and see your progress, buddy. I think it's going to be awesome. And I do really think, I'm guessing like a lot of us, right? I mean, it's really hard in season specifically during the fall, right? It gets colder. We're all tethered to our computers. We're all watching football. We're all building DFS lineups, yada, yada. It's a lot easier to quote unquote, let yourself go during that time. So I do really find the spring specifically is just the perfect time to set these goals. Almost as an opposition to the like New Year's resolution people who do it on like January 1st. Not that there's anything wrong with finding an excuse to get in shape, but there's something about the spring, right? It's like summer's coming. That's a motivator. Just in our neck of the woods, a little bit of a lull football wise. Sure, we're going to be drafting teams, but we also know we can multitask. Underdog Cardio Club will be coming back. We can draft while still staying active. So I do think this is a really good time. Set yourself up with some good routines, some good goals. And obviously I'm biased, but I do think Underdog Cardio Club is such like a great motivator for that of like, I talk about the different ways to trick yourself into working out and making it fun. The sauna being a big one for me. Hey, if I go work out, I get to go relax in the sauna. Same thing. Like, hey, I want to draft a best ball team. Well, go and do it on the elliptical. Go and do it on the Stairmaster. And I will tell you, you will never have a cardio session fly by faster than when you're doing cardio, or when you're drafting a team, rather. You're sitting here trying to figure out the stacks, just sweating your ass off. You can have 45, 50 minutes fly by very, very fast. So I'm stoked about Cardio Club coming back. I'm stoked that so many of you guys are dialing in your health habits so we can debunk this lazy fantasy footballer stuck in their basement eating Doritos and not taking care of themselves. We can have our cake and eat it too. Dobby says, so I haven't gone the cold plunge tank. I don't know if that's something, but yes, I am getting my sauna. My sauna should be here getting delivered in the next week or two. Then I'll have to get it set up. But yes, I basically, like I said earlier, I'm basically trying to recreate everything that I can do at the gym at my house so I no longer have to drive to the gym. That's my goal. That is my goal. Also, this is a big part of it. Drew says, last time I went to a sauna in the gym, the 80-year-old rolled in naked. Yeah, I mean, this is the horrors and the things I have seen in the sauna. I've seen a man eat cookies. I've seen a man do legit yoga while butt naked, just spreading his ass cheeks right in my face with a downward dog. No joke. No joke. And I said, you know what? I don't need to experience this anymore. I can now bring this home. And so I don't have to see any naked old men during my sauna sessions. Elon Muscular. I don't know if I've ever seen you in the chat. Didn't even realize you're a YouTube member. Elon says, I got insanely shredded during doing playoff best ball drafts last year. It's crazy how well it works. It is. Michael, who is a runner, says, I found recently hopping on the assault bike and doing a full draft is a good morning warm up and wake up for me. I'm glad you mentioned assault bike. That is like, I have to pace myself with the home gym of things I really want. An assault bike is like top of the list. If none of you guys have ever done the assault bike before, God, that thing is a deceptive ass kicker. But I love the assault bike. Whenever I'm at the gym, I tend to use that as my cardio because like at home, I can run. I have a rowing machine at home. Stairmaster and assault bike are the ones that it would be total goals to have at home. Holy cow. All right. Yeah. Ramondre feels like a really big tier break. Going from Ramondre to Najee Harris feels like going from like a Rolls Royce to a Mazda Miata. I am going to take Ramondre Stevenson here. Mike, you're late. You're the second person to make the Colorado pullover joke this morning. All right, let's see here. Philly, New York Giants. This seems like a quarterback sweet spot. Who knows what is going to come back to me? But I also have already used so much draft capital at quarterback. Hurts and Daniel Jones. Let's try to go for the tight end angle. I do not think I have a single super flex share of TJ Hawkinson. I don't like the running back tier. I don't like this wide receiver gap here. We're going to grab TJ Hawkinson. 0 wide receiver build for Peter. Oof. Yikes. Dobby says, so the sauna is a mental health investment as well. I mean, totally. You know, like I wrote about this in the newsletter the other week when I was talking about the cold plunges and where I never want to like oversell, you know, the benefits. I mean, there is pretty strong studies about the longevity and cardiovascular benefits of saunas, but I personally get a good mental health element out of it too. It's one of the few places where I'm not taking my phone. I'm not being distracted. I do sometimes like to meditate in the sauna as well. It is like a very cleansing experience, both, you know, mentally and physically. So yeah, that's a big part of it for me as well. Troy says, never go into the steam room at 2 a.m. on a Friday late night. I can't imagine. I don't even know what steam room is open until 2 a.m. I think at my gym, the gym closes at midnight. I can't imagine going into a steam room at 2 a.m. That sounds That sounds a lot. Oops, look, I didn't update my ticker. See, this is what happens when I try to add new elements to the stream. I forget to update my ticker. This is in fact draft 2 of 2 now. Superflex draft versus the chat, 2 of 2. It's been a while since we've done a coffee pour. I'm also starting to sweat in this, so we might have to lose the sweater. No nip slip yet, so we're doing this off screen. Got to get to 15K subs until you guys get the pulling the shirt off nip slip, but I will give you a coffee pour instead. God, yeah, see, I'm so off my game. How did I forget to feed the ducks? Goodness. What is wrong with me today? Too much gym talk. You guys got me going on bulking and steroids and saunas and programming workouts. I forgot our bread and butter. Oh, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I failed you. I'm off my game. I'm off my game. I will say, I'm very excited about this week. Going to be lots of stuff going on. Obviously, we have the NFL draft on Thursday. I'm going to be a part of 2 different streams. The Fantasy Life crew is going to be streaming during the whole draft, and the Ship Chasing crew is going to be streaming during the whole draft. I'll be on the Fantasy Life stream for the first hour and a half or so, around 7:45. I think we're kicking that off. And then I'm going to hop over to the Ship Chasing stream. Recommend bouncing around, checking those out. We got a bunch of fun guests lined up for Ship Chasing. All the friends that you know and love from the Ship Chasing universe are going to be there, including Sean Siegel. So I will not be there for the first hour or so when I'm over on the Fantasy Life. Sean Siegel, though, will be filling in for me. So if you ever want to talk about an upgrade, it's subbing out Peter Overzet for Sean Siegel. So that's going to be Thursday. Also have multiple videos coming out this week that I'm very excited about. I know I've mentioned before. Let me make these picks here, and then I will. Do you see this draft board right now and why it's such a massive advantage for the early drafters in Superflex? I've gone 0 wide receiver through 5 rounds, and at pick 611, I'm about to get one of Drake London or Christian Watson. I get Christian Watson. I mean, the pockets of the draft just line up so perfectly for the early drafters. Will the French pastry eater be on Ship Chasing? Yes. Pat Carrain will be back from his Paris jaunt. It was his birthday yesterday. He will be back in the saddle, as will Ben Gretsch. And we booked a ton of fun guests. We're going to have Spags. We're going to have Anthony Amico. We are going to have the Spike Week guys. We're going to have RotoViz bros. We're going to have all kinds of guys. I'm probably even forgetting a couple right now. All right. As much as I would love to take Jahmyr Gibbs, I think we're behind the 8 ball at wide receiver. Let's just get the 2 funnest picks in fantasy right now, Bijan Robinson and JSN. Dude, I'm fed up with Crack Rock, man. He's flaked on me like 3 straight weeks for Ship Chasing. So I'm not saying I'm done with Crack Rock. You're never done with Crack Rock. He's like the, I don't know, the cousin that like pisses you off, but like you have to love him because he's your cousin. That's where I'm at with Crack Rock right now. But as someone who's organized and likes to book people and likes to have a schedule and likes to announce shows, he's a real pain in my ass right now. But Crack Rock has an invite to swing by. Elon, if you ever decided to jump on the juice, I know a guy. Davis would be so intimidated by your physique. The bid equity would be top tier. I would love to explain to Lauren why I did steroids. Yeah, it was to intimidate Davis on live streams with my big muscles. What else was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm gonna have 2 different videos coming out this week. I had wrote about these in the P.O. Box newsletter a couple editions ago. I have a video that should be coming out. I'm aiming for Wednesday morning. This is going to be on the Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel. So this is the 2nd YouTube channel I have. I know, 2 YouTube channels wide. Just don't worry about it. But that was last year where I did all of the best ball strategy videos. So we had, you know, the 0 RB in the dominant best ball structures. That video is there. The week 17 is all that matters video was over there. It's also where I put the engagement farmer, the best ball bros, all of those more produced videos are housed underneath the Deposit Kingdom YouTube umbrella. Gonna have a new video over there titled The Anatomy of $1 Million Lineup. I looked deep into the lineups that both Pat drafted and King Capital, who won the regular season top prize in Best Ball Mania 3, and looking at kind of the structural and strategic principles that they shared, even though they're two very different lineups. You know, King Capital's is a 0 RB lineup. Pat, of course, took 2 running backs to start his draft, but did a deep dive in there. And it was actually very fun seeing Leone's Best Ball Manifesto came out, because there was a lot of kind of overlap. And it was cool to see some of the ideas supported by Leone's data, but I think it's a very solid video, and we'll give you guys a lot of ideas for Best Ball Mania 4 when that opens up. So keep an eye out for that. And also, we are going to be posting a video on the Fantasy Life YouTube channel. I went through 5 rookie prospects, the top 5 prospects that I think can make a fantasy impact in 2023. And that video will be dropping as well. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, it's draft week, baby. It's going to be a very fun week. Going to be working on a few more best ball tip videos. I think I'm going to make those geared toward how to capitalize on early Best Ball Mania 4 stuff. Like when that opens, what are the kind of things you should be thinking about? Because it is like a bit of a unique dynamic with the ADPs all over the place. And also I'm going to be having an announcement as well about my BBM4 drafting plans. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming this week. I'm getting very hyped. I honestly can't believe that we're already around the sun another time, that we're back to another hot best ball summer. BBM4, Cardio Club. Can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. A lot of people are losing money on Stroud after that Crack Rock tweet. I love Crack Rock, but I ain't tailing him on that shit. I'll tell you that. J Mike, you're never done with Crack Rock is a heck of a quote. I didn't even pick up on that, but God, you're right. All right, so with these 2 picks, let's see, what is Donaldson gonna do here? He has Mahomes and Stafford. I do like Pickens in this range. I still think we need to catch up at wide receiver. Let's do Pickens. Matt says, do we have any BBM4 info yet? Underdog posted a little teaser trailer, and I have also seen Rudman and them saying that they will, I believe they're going to announce the schedule plans for the release this week. Like, I don't think it's going to be a shotgun surprise announcement. I'm pretty sure everyone will have advance notice of when BBM4 is dropping. Jay Chang, how far is Jameson Williams going to fall? He hasn't been falling that much. I think what happens in these first few days after news breaks is people are still kind of anchored to the ADP, and the ADP hasn't fully adjusted. Like, where did he go here? Has he gone yet? No, he's at the top of the queue. So, you know, like, this is my point, right? Jameson Williams sitting here with an existing ADP of 86.5. There's no way he should be going ahead of Kadarius Toney, ahead of Jahan Dotson, ahead of Gabe Davis. Oops. Whoa, what just happened? My mouse went rogue. To me, I think he should be going right after Rashad Bateman and Jordan Addison, like in this range. I would take Addison over Jameson Williams. Once you get to Odell here, this seems like where Jameson Williams should be going now. And so if you think about the dynamic, though, when we do these drafts, people are still going to be anchored to this ADP. So if the person at 107 is sitting here saying, like, look, I'm getting him 20 picks past ADP, it feels like a perceived value. But if you're actually resetting your board, at least that's how I'm mentally doing it, I'm saying he should be in the pick like 125 range. So now we're all of a sudden 40 picks off of what his current ADP is. So that's at least just how I'm thinking about it. Bindle says, should I take a day off work to draft that sweet first day ADP value? One thing that I am really curious to see this year, because I do really feel like best ball enthusiasm this summer is going to be, I don't want to necessarily say the word exponentially higher than last year, but I will say meaningfully higher than last year. You know, last year they sized the tournament, Best Ball Mania 3, almost perfectly, right? It spread the entire duration of the summer and filled what? Was it like a couple days before the start of the season? So like perfect timing. I wonder, is there the possibility that BBM 4 could finish by like late July this year? Like, could the Best Ball sickos just be so frothy for these massive $1 million prizes that everyone is just flooding in and blasting off earlier than ever? Because traditionally it's been all of us sickos, anyone watching Best Ball Breakfast, even on April 24th, they're going to be the ones drafting early. And then the casuals come in mid to late July, early August. They start saying, oh, I got my home league coming up. Let me practice a little bit. Oh, there's a big top prize. I wonder if that dynamic could be different this year. If it's just people just pummeling in to this contest. I think that'll be a really interesting thing to watch, is the fill rate on Best Ball Mania, and then thinking how that impacts the strategies. You're going to have the barbell bros. You're going to have the July 18th bros saying, hey, I want to draft in the middle of the summer where I can have my cake and eat it too, kind of reflective of what Leone's data showed and when the exact time King Capital and Patrick drafted, I just called him Patrick, Pat drafted both of their lineups. So the fill rate stuff in relation to GTO drafting windows is going to be really interesting. All right, time to put my money where my mouth is with drafting these guys over. Let's see. Do I want to go Sutton? Let's go Bateman. We're salivating. Bindles agrees with that take. The chat, you guys all seem to think it's possible. Elon says, I would not be surprised at all if BBM4 closed mega early. All right, you are going to toss around the term exponential. And I am going to toss around Jordan Addison, who I said I prefer over Jameson Williams. And I'm going to stay true to my word on that. I do think we're now in good range. Where's the Jared Goff drafter? Where's the Jared Goff drafter here? Trying to find him. Where are you? Where are you, Jared Goff drafter? Okay, right here, Vaporware. Oh, Jameson does go. I think Vaporware could have justified taking him over David Njoku there. But I see you have Deshaun Watson and wanted to get that stack. So makes sense. Sorry, not sorry. Pete, if you had to say, would you want the prize pool and player pool to stay the same? I think the contest loses appeal if there ends up being like 1 million people in the contest. I agree with you completely. I was very fortunate enough that to get to talk with those guys a little bit about just give them some feedback on what I would like to see with the structure and stuff. And one of the main things I said is like, you don't want the final to, get to be 1,000 people, like the DraftKings $5 best ball tournament that David Kitchen famously was a finalist for. Would hate to take away from that incredible accomplishment, but you don't wake up on the Sunday morning of week 17 going against 1,000 people and feel like you have a chance to become a millionaire. You say, I have a lottery ticket. And so I think the 470 entries, obviously you might need to make it a little bit bigger, but that still feels like a sweat. You can tell yourself a story of waking up on that Sunday morning and saying, I have a chance to become a millionaire. And I do think it's a fine line, right? Because you want the tournament to get bigger. You want the prize pools to get bigger, but you also want to have a realistic sweat. Like getting a team to the Best Ball Mania finals is such a gargantuan accomplishment. You going through a literal gauntlet of 3 different uncorrelated tournaments. To get there is such a huge accomplishment. You want to have some sweat equity. And so I agree completely. I personally would I don't really care about if the top prize is X million or whatever. Like, it's a shit ton of money regardless. I just want a chance to have a sweat if I get there. That's what this is all about, right? Having a realistic chance at a sweat. And that's why the Best Ball Mania structure is so fun. The rotisserie scoring settings that you'll see on other sites, it's not fun. There's no reason to go check back. A lot of it is so solidified when it takes place over weeks 1 through 17. And I know that frustrates some people because the quote unquote best teams from the regular season aren't rewarded, but it also removes all of the elements of surprise and sweating and pod randomness and the chance for low advancement rate guys to come out of nowhere to propel you to the top of your pod. Like, I love all that shit. I think they've stumbled upon a very, very fun tournament format. And I think aside from tweaking it, I really want it to stay close to the same going forward. Darius Max knows. Underdog employee right here. Love Star says he's maxing in July. Yeah, I will. Like, I'm waiting to tell you what my streaming plans are, or my drafting plans. But I'm excited to see when all of you guys draft, because last year the Barbell Bros were out and about big time. What do we want to do here? It might be time to draft another running back. I don't like this tier. I'm going to take Eli Mitchell. I prefer Eli Mitchell to Jamal Williams, Brian Robinson, and Antonio Gibson. I have not been servicing the audio listeners well on this stream, so let me service you guys. Quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones. Great quarterback room. Best Superflex quarterback room I've ever had in my goddamn life. Running backs, Bijan Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, Eli Mitchell. Good at the top end. I need to make my next selection here, though. You know what? Let's do Kenny Gainwell. I missed out on the top 3 pass catchers with Jalen Hurts. I want to have somebody with Jalen Hurts. Let's do Kenny Gainwell. So now Bijan, Ramondre, Eli Mitchell, Kenny Gainwell, our wide receivers, Christian Watson, JSN, George Pickens, Rashad Bateman, Jordan Addison. Pretty fun room there. A lot of breakout potential. Tight end, TJ Hawkinson. Yeah. I think I'm glad Target Hog says this. He says, I just drafted when I wanted to, worked out okay. I do really ultimately think when you think about, right, we talk about contest selection in general and how I suspect that most people watching this stream right now have an edge drafting over just the most regular best ball drafters or someone who's firing up a draft. I feel pretty comfortable saying that. But we've also said in these massive tournaments with 400,000 plus entries or however big BBM4 ends up being, it is going to be very hard to realize your edge. You could be the best ball drafter in the world by a country mile and still not to be able to realize your edge. So if we all agree on that premise, then we also have to agree that whatever edges we are getting by drafting on July 18th instead of August 13th, or, on right when the contest opens versus right when the contest ends, even if they are edges, they are marginal edges in the grand scheme of things. And I think one of the things that Leone's article did so well is illustrating that not one single edge is the skeleton key or the thing to hammer, because 1, edges dry up, and 2, they're so marginal in the grand scheme of things. But the cumulative effect of stacking small edge on small edge on small edge on small edge can then get you to a point where maybe you do have a prayer to sneak a team in. And so the point I'm trying to make is not sweating any specific micro edge. You get sniped on a stack. It's like, okay, well, now maybe that ruins my ability to build out the team I want. Or you say, I want to draft in the middle of July, and instead you end up having to draft some before or after. It's like, sure, that little micro edge, it sucks to not be able to realize it because you want to stack every edge, but none of those are going to sink you. It's simply trying to focus on all the edges you can, stack them together, clackety clack, roll the dice, and hope things break in your favor. So I think it's a little silly to worry a ton about when you're drafting. And I'm with Target Hog here. I'm going to draft when it works well for me. I'm going to draft all summer because I like streaming drafts, and like, it's not like I'm going to go dark for a month because I'm waiting for a GTO window to draft. That's just how I'm thinking about it. Just how I'm thinking about it here. I'm going to reach a little just because I want a Daniel Jones stack here, and I really like Wan'Dale Robinson, and then we'll grab a running back probably coming back. I love this analogy by Beachhead. Of course, he evoking, a traditional stock market or crypto ethos, saying if you don't know when the market will be ideal, you DCA, dollar cost average in. It's very hard. What's the saying? It's not timing the market. It's time in the market. That's definitely my philosophy with best ball drafting. Let's see here. I had so much like A-Chain and Tajay Spears in the first big boards that I've been trying to like do more Devin Singletary types here. We'll grab Singletary. I do have a lot of Wandell. We can go look. We can see what I finished up with my exposures in the big board, because I did finally wrap that the other day. Let's see. How much Wandell Robinson? Here you go, 16.5%. I haven't, this is a live reveal for me on my exposures in the big board now that all my slow drafts are finished. Marvin Mims, Cedric Tillman, Christian Watson, Traylon Burks, Jalen Hyatt, Addison, Tyquan Thornton, Amon-Ra, Wandell Robinson, JSN, Higgins, Metcalf. I kind of like these wide receiver exposures. Those feel nice to me. You know, making big bets on 2 rookies who I think are going to have basically really nice closing line value relative of where they went. I think both of these guys have a chance of sneaking into the back end of round 1, and at the worst are probably early round 2 picks. So I feel pretty confident that those guys being free will ultimately shoot up. Running back, I was hammering Izzy late. I definitely got caught up in the hype train there. Tajay Spears, I mentioned a lot. A-Chain backs up what I just said there. Chuba, Chase Brown, Roshan, Jalen Warren, James Cook. A lot of Chardonnay here. Eli Mitchell, Pierre Strong. This is what I was talking about of, you know, taking Pierre Strong, double the field on him. My tight ends, George Kittle, a lot of Isaiah Likely. Freiermuth, of course, Kyle Pitts, Greg Dulcich, Evan Ingram, Cole Kmet. Why do I have so much Cole Kmet? That seems weird. Maybe I have a lot of Fields. Feel like he was almost exclusively stacked with Fields. My quarterbacks, here we go. Surprise, surprise. How about surprise, surprise? Anthony Richardson and Trey Lance, my top 2. And again, this isn't the Superflex. This is the standard big board that I was able to 150 max. Although, why does it say 150? 115 teams. Am I not getting the proper? Okay. All right. I didn't have it fully refreshed here. Ooh, Chuba ends up shooting up as my top. Wide receivers, still very similar. George Kittle. And then my QBs, okay, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance, Kenny Pickett, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy G. So there it is. There's my exposures for the big board. Look at how zen it is going to my draft screen and not seeing a million slow drafts in the queue. This feels incredible. Oh, I meant to show you. I wanted to show you this Superflex team. That's like my favorite Superflex team I've been drafting right now. Justin Herbert, Kenny Pickett, Mac Jones. JT, Tony Pollard, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Warren, Kendre Miller. Jalen Waddle, Mike Williams, Traylon Burks, Kadarius Toney, Jordan Addison, Juju Smith-Poopster, and Tyquan Thornton. Tight ends, Kyle Pitts, Gerald Everett, Mike Gesicki. I'm stacked up. I got good players at each position. It was a gorgeous team, even with a pick 7 there. All right. I'm 1 pick away here. I am on the clock. What do we got going on here? I need another tight end. Mac Jones, I do not have stacked with anyone other than Ramondre. Let's do Gesicki. We did Hunter Henry on the last one. Bindles, congratulations. I saw you mention that in the Discord, officially a streamer. Go in the Deposit Kingdom. We do have the self-promotion channel. So if you guys are making content, OnlyFans, YouTube streams, drop the link down in there. I saw that, Bindles. I believe I subscribed. If I didn't, I need to go subscribe. But congratulations on becoming a best ball streamer. Fantasy Football Garage approves on the Marvin Mims and Cedric Tillman exposure. Love Stars in on Christian Watson with me, 19.7. 37% Tank Dell. Wow. Dobby was feeling the slow draft crunch when the time kicked up. Let's see here. What am I doing with my next pick? Should we do Isaiah Hodgins? Get that double stack with Danny Dimes. Let's do that. So we got Danny Dimes double stacked with Wandale and Hodgins. we have Mac Jones with Ramondre and Gesicki, and we're Raw Dog and Hurts with just Kenneth Gainwell. Structurally, though, like where this team is at. Pretty balanced structurally here with 3 picks to go. You're not clogging the chat, man. I was just letting it know for people who want to easily go find streams that other Deposit Kingdom members are doing. The self-promo channel is a really good place for people to go take a glance. And it's awesome how much you guys support each other. I mentioned Ori earlier, streaming and talking about his weight loss challenge. It's been fun to watch Hope Bishop, who I had on Best Ball After Dark a couple weeks ago, really expand her streaming coverage. Bindle's creating stuff. It's been fun to watch all of you guys create content. Aaron says, what's this year's version of a cacti? Very good question. I mean, you can start to put 2 and 2 together a little bit, right? The cacti was because the Super Bowl was in Arizona last year. This year, the Super Bowl is in Las Vegas. Who knows? I honestly don't know if the 150 Maxers are getting a gift this year, but if they were, and you wanted to go with a theme, some Vegas, something involving Las Vegas, Sin City. Wait. I need you to explain this, Nick. GM just took a bath in coffee. Time for best ball. Is this like a metaphorical bath? Like you drank so much coffee that it felt like you were bathing in it? Did you spill coffee? Because I've been known to take an accidental bath in coffee doing my coffee pours and spill. I need you to explain if this was a literal or figurative bath. The Justin Ross steam, it's there. I mean, yeah, it's probably a little expensive. Like to take Justin Ross over a Tyquan Thornton or a Mecole Hardman, probably not. But does he have Mahomes? No. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't. If you need to reach a little bit because you have Patrick Mahomes and you got boxed out on Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore and Kelsey or whatever, I don't hate it. But unstack Justin Ross when it, like him crushing is so directly correlated to Mahomes. I would prefer to either get him free or stacked with Mahomes. Iced coffee baths are superior to regular ice baths. Huberman confirmed. Elon knows iced coffee baths help with clarity. All right, this is that. I love that idea. Do you just drink yourself out too? All right. Should I just keep taking the guy taking all these drafts? I mean, I'm going down with the Chuba ship. You saw he was my most drafted running back in the first big board. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm back on the clock. Should we triple stack Danny Dimes? Can you think of a better way to live than triple stacking Danny Dimes? Sounds like so much fun. So much fun. Wandale, Isaiah Hodgins, Paris Campbell. Can you collect them all? No, it's literally impossible to collect them all because they have 19 million slot receivers. Do you want Sterling Shepard? He's there for you. Do you want Jamison Crowder? He's there for you. I disagree with this completely. Very high chance the Panthers take an RB. I guess we can say, like, would they use a 5th or a 6th round pick on a flyer? Sure. But everything they've done has signified that they are already done with the position. I mean, they gave Miles Sanders significant money. They like Chuba. I wouldn't be surprised to see them take a 5th or 6th round back, but I really don't envision them taking a back that is going to meaningfully change the projection for Miles Sanders and Chuba. They also have, who's the guy that their third running back had some success last year? Was it Raheem Blackshear, who was also pretty good on the roster? I can't envision them. They're like a rebuilding team that already spent on the position via Sanders. They just do not strike me as a team who's going to spend significant draft capital on another running back. Yeah, and then there's Blackshear. Nick says, give us an update on where your head is at with the EM2 tweets. Referencing Empire Maker talking about collusion happening on DraftKings, specifically in the 3-man games. It's something we talk about a lot on Lulz. If you guys are just Best Ball Breakfast Bros, that's a DFS show I do with Brick75 every Thursday at 1:30. I invited Empire Maker onto the show. I replied to him. He's more than welcome to come on Lulz to talk about his findings. He basically says he's been letting DraftKings know about this cheating and collusion. It's falling on deaf ears. I do think it would get it some more exposure if he came on Lulz, but I don't know. He's a mercurial guy. So I don't know if he's willing to make a video appearance, but get in his mentions. Tell him to go on Lulz. A bunch of you guys already did that. I missed this quote. Christopher says the Jags OC said they're going with a 3-man committee in the backfield. Oh man, I forgot, like hearing that made just drop me in the like July and August mindset from training camp where we start to get X is in the best shape of their life. X is lining up in the slot. X is running with the ones. X made a grown ass man catch with, then you see it and it's like grainy training camp footage from like a guy in the trees a mile away. We are not that far away from these kind of reports. All right, coming up on my final pick here. Hurts, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones. Positionally, what are we looking at? We're at a 3-6-8-2. I think we're pretty balanced here positionally. I feel fine rocking just Hawkinson and Gesicki as my tight ends. I think because I punted wide receiver, this feels like it should probably be a 9 wide receiver build. Bijan, Ramondre, Eli Mitchell, Gainwell, Singletary, and Chuba I think feels fine at running back. I'm fine at quarterback, good at tight end. This feels like a flyer. Does the chat want to crowdsource this final pick? I think I'm probably leaning toward Terrace Marshall would just be my gut, or do we just fucking rip it in? You know what? I think we rip it in on the Giants. If this was a tournament, I would say 4 Giants is too much. But in a self-contained 12-team league, if Danny Dimes is dealing, this is the gotta catch 'em all draft. Bang, 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 bang. Wandale, Hodgins, Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton, all of the Giants wide receivers just for me. There it is. Vaporware nailed it. Quad stack. I had to do it. Yeah, Kendrick Bourne would have been a good one with Mac Jones. Would have been a good one there. And so comes to an end our pre-Best Ball Mania 4 coverage here on the Peter Overzet YouTube channel. Appreciate all of you guys who became YouTube members. We'll continue to have Best Ball After Darks for YouTube members. We'll continue to share links to private drafts, as well as I think the plan is when I start streaming BBM4 drafts, I will tip it off to YouTube members in the chat so you guys can better time and get into these drafts with me if you are so inclined. Like I said, big week coming up. Going to have lots of Best Ball content. Keep an eye out for that video dropping on the Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel. Make sure you are dialed up for the draft night streams on the Fantasy Life channel and the Ship Chasing channel. Going to have some Best Ball tip videos, like I mentioned, coming out. It's going to be a great week. NFL Draft Week is here. Appreciate you all joining. And this is, we're gonna pull back the velvet rope, right? And all of the new Best Ball people flooding in because of the new contest. They're going to be here. But do you know who was here from the beginning? It was you guys. You were the sickos drafting Best Ball teams in February, watching streams in the dead of winter, talking about the guys you need in March. You are my people. It's going to be a great Best Ball summer. Excited to blast off around here. Plenty more to come on the channel. Have a great Monday. We'll see you around. It's draft week. Peace.